A zombie apocalypse isn't exactly conducive to living a long and happy life, and in Dead Island 2, your survival is pretty much dependent on your ability to adapt and get with the program pretty quickly. So with that in mind, we've put together a quick list of 5 tips to help your weekend stay in Hell A go as smoothly as possible, with hopefully gruesome and painful deaths kept to a minimum. Our first tip is a very simple one: buy all the fuses you can. The world has ended and fuses are your new currency. Before you buy anything else with your money, make sure your 3 fuse slots are stocked up and ready to go before you take one step out of that safe house door. During your travels in the game, you'll encounter a lot of fuse boxes, and wouldn't you know it, they're all missing a vital fuse to unlock that nearby door. Inside these places, you can invariably find plenty of incredibly useful resources to aid you in your fight for survival, and a special container with a brand new weapon to use, making them very worthwhile to investigate whenever you can. The only way to get fuses is by purchasing them from vendors in safe houses where they go for $1,500 each. So save up your cash and invest smart. Buy fuses. Next up, while we're talking about finding brand new weapons, make sure you learn your weapon strengths. There are a wide variety of weapons in Dead Island 2, allowing you to indulge in all manner of bloody brutalities, melee weapons, guns, and even throwables like molotovs, shurikens, and pipe bombs. The only limit on how to kill zombies is personal preference. Many weapons also have unique profiles that provide them with different bonuses and effects, so it's worth learning how these work to make the most out of them when you're stuck between the undead and a hard place. A weapon's profile can be seen in the top right corner of their inventory slot next to the weapon's level, and each one makes it more useful in certain situations or when used a certain way. Headhunter, for example, does critical hits to the head. Frenzy does critical hits after landing quick hits in succession. Maiming does critical hits to limbs and has a higher chance of maiming zombies. And bulldozer weapons are more effective at taking out close groups of enemies. It's an easy mechanic to ignore with so many weapons to pick from, but if you're looking to terminate with extreme efficiency as well as prejudice, they're important to keep in mind. Our third tip goes out to the hoarders in Hell A. Scrap and sell your weapons. Due to the sheer number of weapons you're going to find across the map, you simply won't have time in your busy schedule of staying alive to be able to make use of all of them. And a lot of weapons will start to feel inferior to the more powerful ones you'll pick up along the way. This means it's pretty much always worth scrapping any common rarity weapons you find at the workbench. They're not worth enough dollar to sell, and scrapping gives you useful crafting resources to improve other, more powerful weapons or craft consumables. That said, anything you find above common rarity, and if you don't plan on using it, sell, sell, sell. Money is one of the more scarce resources in Hell A, what with the apocalypse and everything, and you'll spend a lot of it at vendors on those aforementioned fuses, and at the workbench, so it's important to make sure you're stocked up. While common weapons don't really sell for very much, hence why we recommend you scrap them, higher rarity weapons can go for thousands of dollars a pop. So if you sell up, you can build up your cash reserves early, which means you should have enough money when weapon repairs and upgrades start costing more. And let's be honest, do you really need another baseball bat with nails driven through it? No. No you don't. Speaking of weapons, guns are your best friend, so make sure you can use them. Several hours into the game, you will unlock guns, allowing you to begin spraying the undead with lead rather than getting up close and personal. A much more pleasant experience all round, I think you'll agree, and while you can still find ammo when exploring, it's a lot rarer than other resources, so you'll need to use other methods to stay stocked up. Once guns are unlocked, vendors will also begin selling blueprints for the different ammo types, allowing you to craft them at workbenches. They're pretty easy to make and don't require many resources, making them the best way to keep your ammo reserves high. So while it is tempting to ignore the blueprints in favour of more immediate benefits, we'd recommend investing in them as soon as you've snagged all the fuses you need. Really, guns essentially trivialise combat once you unlock them in Dead Island 2. A good rifle that's at your level can kill most normal zombies with one headshot, while a few well-placed bullets will take down special infected like crushers or screamers with very little effort. This makes the game's combat far easier, so as long as you stay stocked on the ammo front, you should be able to spray and pray your way through the rest of the game with relative ease. Which leads us to our final little tip, and this is mostly for getting the most out of Hell A. Explore areas during both day and night. While the game has a day-night cycle that changes depending on what section of the story you're in, once you've unlocked fast travel, you can choose the time of day when you arrive to a previously visited region. And this is a pretty important detail, since some of the named zombies who have keys to areas with lots of loot you're going to want to get your hands on will only spawn in at certain times of the day. Ideally, you should be carefully exploring different regions at both day and night if you want to have a better chance of encountering all the named zombies and collecting their keys so you can max out your arsenal before you head into the endgame. So there you go, 5 tips to help you get the best out of your holiday in Hell A. Let us know your best Dead Island 2 tips down in the comments, and if you're new to Hell A, check out these videos on where to find the hotel keys and probably the most badass looking weapons in the game.